Hello, everyone. Welcome back to What's Up Wednesday. My name is Rachel, and I'm on the client support team here at Early Learning Ventures. And today I'm joined by Tamera from the Denver Museum of Nature and Science. Welcome, Tamera. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, exciting. And thank you. If you're new here and have not heard of us before, welcome. Thank you all for watching live with us. We are a 501c3 nonprofit based out of Colorado, and our mission is to expand access to quality and affordable childcare. Since we are live today, if you have any questions that come up while we're talking, please add them to the chat or just comment and say hello. It's always fun to see familiar names pop up or see new names. And be sure to check out the links in the description of the video so you can learn more about our resources at Early Learning Ventures and also more about the Denver Museum as well. There's also a link to sign up for the newsletter. We are currently hosting a giveaway for our existing Alliance Core users to win a scholarship to use the system completely free for 1 year. This is a huge opportunity. This can save you anywhere from $300 to $1,200 depending on the size of your program. And all you have to do to be entered to win is comment here on these What's Up Wednesday videos, letting us know what is your favorite outdoor activity to do with your children. This giveaway is 7 weeks long, and each comment earns you an entry. So we encourage you to keep watching with us each week. You can even go back and watch our recorded videos and add a comment there. I'm also going to put this little giveaway announcement in the comments in Spanish for our Spanish viewers. Make sure that we're including everyone and everyone can see those details there. All right, looks like that just posted. Awesome. So if you are not already an existing Alliance Core user but would like to be, check out the link in the description of the video, or you can always contact us at client support. I have our contact information there as well. All right, Tamara, let's get started. Can you tell us a bit about yourself and your role at the Denver Museum of Nature and Science?
Sure, and thank you again for having me. This is very exciting.
Yeah.
My name is Tamera Sakotas, and I work here at the Museum of Nature and Science as a teacher programs consultant. But prior to my work here, I've kind of had many roles in education, actually. Everything from developing enrichment programs for Denver public schools to overseeing maker spaces in the Denver metro area. For a while, I was cultivating arts and integrated experiences for youth and their teachers to help them deepen the joy of learning. And I did that for many communities around the country. And there was even a time that I worked as a curriculum specialist for Sesame Street,
Oh,
which
wow.
was super fun.
That's really cool. Yeah, that's exciting.
Yes.
We're happy to have you here today, and I can't wait to learn more about the museum. Can you tell us what makes the Denver Museum of Nature and Science unique compared to other museums of nature and science?
Sure. A few things come to mind immediately. And one is that we are the third largest museum of nature and science in the country. Despite being the third in size, we do have the most robust educational programming of all of the nature and science museums. And that means more than the Smithsonian in DC and more than the American Museum of Natural History in New York City. So being a
Wow.
part of the Excite Ed department, the education department here at the museum. That's something to be very proud of.
Yeah.
Also, unlike other similar cultural institutions around the country who often focus on visiting audiences, we really focus on serving the Colorado communities specifically.
I love that. I think if anyone is located in Colorado, or I guess even if you're not and you've visited the Denver Museum before, I would love it if you added a comment to let us know. That'd be fun to see. Tamara, can you tell us about some of the different types of educational programs that you guys offer?
Sure. I'm really excited to talk about some of the work that I'm actually not directly involved with, but that our entire department works and dedicates their work and their work to. Essentially, the virtual programs is pretty outstanding. Many of your viewers who might not be in the Denver metro area might be familiar with our virtual programming. Scientists in Action is kind of one of our the things we're most proud of, actually. We do these monthly. It's an opportunity for students across the state and actually beyond to connect directly with scientists that work in the field. We generally theme these out. It's about an hour at most per month, and schools and educators can sign up their classes ahead of time and interact live and in person with scientists. So sometimes these have been themed out based on the time of year. So perhaps I remember around Thanksgiving we did how is a turkey like a T-Rex, for example. We also had someone speak to the science of death right around Halloween, which was super exciting. But there have been times too we've connected with scientists that are working out in the field with penguins and the North Pole or Antarctica, and we've connected to astronauts that are in orbit. So it's pretty unique, and it's not exclusive to just Colorado, but certainly folks that live in our rural areas can access that exciting program. We also have a virtual science academy program, which is an opportunity for distance learning. So for teachers in classrooms, again, that aren't within driving distance or easy access to the museum, it's a great way to connect students to educators here at the museum. So it's guided and led by an educator, and it has an established curriculum. There are different themes. For example, we have virtual labs, so they can watch a heart dissection or a lung dissection. For our littles, we have astrotots to the moon. For our almost middle schoolers, maybe, we have New Me, which is a scientific look at puberty. So there are really dynamic ways for classrooms and teachers to connect without being here in the metro area. And then, of course, we have our off-site programs, which are for, generally speaking, about 60-mile distance from the museum. Our Wonder Workshops serve classrooms that are from preschool all the way through 8th grade. We send out museum educators. Often they arrive in like a van that is painted like the wilderness with a dinosaur hanging out the side. It usually met with great enthusiasm upon arrival, but
I'm
it's a
sure.
wonderful way to bring learning and to bring the museum into your classrooms. Those are about 45 minutes, and they have an established curriculum also. So we do things like wild senses, mission to Mars, or body systems in motion. And for those educators that are interested in perhaps leading some programs on their own, or maybe they're beyond that 60-mile distance, for example, we can send them a curiosity kit, which is this really amazing trunk full of artifacts and activities and curriculum guides for teachers and handouts. They're themed out also, things like Built to Fly, Lost Worlds of Colorado, or Powered by Nature. And so teacher gets to hold on to them for a week, or maybe share them with the colleagues across the grade level, which is a wonderful way to kind of switch it up in the classroom and still connect to the academic standards and benchmarks that need to be met. For those that are within kind of driving distance, we do have on-site field trips. We do the Choose Your Own Adventure, which many folks are pretty familiar with. You kind of just show up and explore, which is always awesome. But we also have overnight adventures. We have guided field trips taught by museum educators. So those are for preschool through 8th grade. They include things like animal adaptations or a paleontology exploration called Unearth Colorado. Again, we have heart and lung labs, but this time kids get to actually do the dissection themselves. So one thing that's important to note is that these do have price tags associated with them. However, they're very modest, and the museum is committed to never allowing costs to be prohibitive. So if any of your viewers are interested in any of our programs and they're concerned about the cost not being able to do it, talk to us. I am a teacher programs consultant. I am the liaison, if you will, for teachers and for schools to access the museum programs, and we'll ensure that no one goes without and that everything is accessible to all. We should also mention we do have summer camps, which are bananas and super fun. They are crawling all over the museum right now. But one thing folks don't know is that we also have spring break camps and we have winter camps, and those aren't always full. We're doing our best to ensure that we really meet the needs of all of our members of our community. So we are accessible and affordable. So scholarships are 100% available for our young learners if the regular registration is difficult to make. And then I would say the final way that we serve our community is really what I do, which is teacher professional development. So we provide professional learning for teachers, and a lot of times that's accredited. So folks, in K-8 can earn graduate credits from the Colorado School of Mines for participation. And we're working on expanding. I'm excited to talk with you a little bit about some of our expansion for preschool teachers as well.
Yeah.
But that's my role, is I work directly with teachers and helping them access newest research and best practices in science education.
Wow, that was a lot. That's amazing though. I mean, everything you mentioned, I think sounds so exciting. And can I wish I could go back to school to participate because gosh, I would have loved that as a kid.
Can I tell you something? Okay, this is just a side note. One thing we're doing, this is a cornerstone of professional development here at the museum, is we do a summer field course. And this summer it's 3 days, 2 nights on the Colorado River. So I leave in 2 days, and I'm not going to pretend to be the expert on this in this regard. My colleague Tim is amazing. He was an outdoor educator at Rocky Mountain National Park for 25 years, but he is our fearless leader. And we're doing 3 days, 2 nights for teachers. And they could bring a spouse or a friend, but really enhancing their comfort with outdoor education and environmental literacy. So we have lots of experiences like that. And like I said, that's the Colorado River. We're not hopping on the river around the corner. We're actually going on the western slope. So
Wow,
educators from across the state should be able to access some exciting programming here.
that is amazing. Yeah, I love that you guys are doing so much for kids, for teachers, everybody. Can we talk a little bit more about the teacher professional development and like can you tell us about some of these workshops and what these training sessions look like?
My pleasure. Yeah, absolutely. So we provide professional learning opportunities for educators from preschool all the way through high school. And we do this in three buckets, if you will, three particular wheelhouses. We focus on best practices in science education, of course, mind and brain education. So there is always new research and new things that we're learning about how the brain works, how we learn, how memory works, how attention and behavior are determined. So the museum and our department really is kind of like the hub for newest information in that regard. And we provide that kind of training to educators, even if they're not science teachers, of course. I think that's useful across content areas and at grade
Oh
levels,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, we provide best practices in nature education and environmental literacy. So that is the field course, for example, that's coming up, but ways that we can access nature in our own backyard and in our own schoolyard. Living in an urban society, in an urban community, sometimes we forget that we still have little pockets or corners where we can learn about and appreciate nature. And then many of our courses, which I may have mentioned, they're credit earning courses. So many times, we'll go into schools and we'll provide trainings, but sometimes teachers will sign up for one of our courses and they'll come to us. And often when that happens, they have the option of earning credit through Colorado School of Mines. And I find that once a teacher participates in one of those courses, I see them again and again. They seem to come back, which is a good sign.
That is awesome. That's amazing. Can we talk about some of the, how you guys partner with individual schools and school districts and educator groups to customize these professional development workshops?
Sure. I think the word customize is key here, right?
Yeah.
We are committed to meeting teachers and educators where they are. We understand the landscape of education is a challenge and that every school is different. Our teaching and learning communities change. And so it's our goal to help teachers accomplish their work in a joyful and meaningful and efficient and fun way, if you will. And we do this in a variety of ways. So we sometimes will bring teachers here, as I said, to a course. Like we had a mind and brain course. It was a 6-week course, January into February. And teachers came every other Saturday. And it was a hybrid, one Saturday they did a little bit at home. Some Saturdays they came in to meet with us and they got credit. So that that's what that model looks like. But we also work individually with schools and also with districts. A lot of times schools will come to us and say, we would really love to train all of our teachers on the science of attention. How is that determined? How is it determined where our students pay attention and for how long, and how does that affect behavior,
Yeah.
etc. So sometimes we'll come in and we'll train an entire faculty at a school. And then sometimes we'll do the exact same thing with the district. So for example, a really meaningful partnership we have is with Westminster schools, and each elementary and sometimes K-8 school plans a field trip here to the museum once during the year, and the students engage with our on-site educators, and they either do a heart lab or a lung lab, and it's a guided field trip. Meanwhile, I get to train the teachers. My colleague and I have the pleasure of training those teachers, and for the past 10 years now, we've provided professional development in simultaneously as the students are here for a field trip. And that's been in things like the science of attention, the science of behavior. This year, we're really focusing on sense making in the classroom and how students construct meaning based on their experiences. It's really exciting. And partnerships with school districts and schools, they all look different, and it's based on their needs and their objectives. And it's our goal to help make their work easier for them and more exciting for students and really more informed in all regards. One thing to note that I think is really important is that what we've learned from the science, though, is that one-off professional development workshops, trainings, an hour here, hour there, have very little impact in the classroom. Sometimes they do serve a great purpose and they inspire teachers to learn more and dig deeper and go further. But the sweet spot is really when we get to partner with a cohort of teachers over a course of time and perhaps, explore an idea or a concept or a classroom strategy, allow the teacher to go back and see what that looks like in the classroom. And then we get back together and we talk about what did we learn, what worked, what didn't work. And that's actually the best practices in adult education. So while we do facilitate one-off workshops, we're really in the zone when we get the opportunity to work with a group of teachers more than once.
I have to say, your passion for what you're doing just comes through on everything that you've said today. I can tell how much you love what you're doing, and it's just amazing to hear you talk about it. I love it.
Well, thank you for saying that, because earlier when you're asking me to introduce myself, I get all cheery when I talk about Sesame Street, of course. But the joy I feel walking into this building is like no other. It's pretty remarkable being in a building where everyone values learning and exploration and collaboration, and honestly, the opportunity that I have each and every day to work alongside teachers who I happen to think are the best human beings on the planet, it gives me a great reason to wake up in the morning.
Well, and I know that that is going to play a huge role in the teachers' experience themselves as well, and their education and children and all of that. That's
I
amazing.
hope so. Thank you.
Yeah. Do you have any future goals or plans for expanding the professional development programs that you can share with us?
Sure. I would say that the landscape of UPK, so Universal Preschool, here as it expands, we are looking forward to enhancing our own professional learning experiences for ECE teachers. In recent years, we have piloted some professional development for preschool teachers in partnership with Denver Early Childhood Council. And also Clayton Early Learning Center. And that was really exciting stuff. It was a pilot program, so we want to learn from that and grow and deepen our experiences in those regards. We want to do more of it. And we intend to do professional development or hour earning PD for preschool teachers through the Colorado Shines and PDIS platforms. That's something I'm really looking forward to, allowing the opportunity for preschool teachers to actually get the credit they need and deserve for their
Yeah.
participation. And again, we've done this before, right? And anyone who's been here at the museum knows that we have a special place in our heart for our young learners. Our Discovery Zone area exhibit upstairs is remarkable, and it's completely dedicated to the littles. But I'm really excited about offering opportunities for our preschool teachers to expand their awareness and understanding about how kids learn and about how fun science can be. So I guess I would just encourage your folks here to keep your eyes open, for upcoming trainings by the Denver Museum of Nature and Science. Hopefully they'll be posted on PDAIS soon.
Yeah, that would be awesome. So I think you've touched on this a little bit, but I'm curious, how can you help educators build confidence in teaching science to young children?
That's a great question. Um, I really hope that what we can highlight is the ways that teachers are already teaching science in the classroom, even if they aren't keenly aware of it. I mean, preschoolers are explorers by nature, right? They wonder and then they follow their curiosities. And this is really what is at the heart of science. It's about being curious about something and then inspired enough to search the answer out. And there are really simple ways that we can shepherd our kiddos through observation and exploration. Even documentation at a very young age is totally possible and fun. And that's science, right? One of the things we've learned from teachers, not just preschool teachers, but I would say teachers in general, is that many have expressed a sense of intimidation or apprehension about teaching science. It's really not emphasized in our school culture as much as I believe it should be, or that it really can be. It doesn't have to be so isolated of a content area. There's a lot of cross-curricular explorations that can serve our science awareness and science understanding. And so many of these teachers have expressed bad experiences in their own childhood on learning science. And a lot of times, one of the things I say in the workshops that we provide is like the old way of learning science, which is the way I learned science, was where a teacher stood up in front of a classroom and said, this is true. This is a science concept or a science principle that is true. And now you're going to step aside and do an experiment or a lab, and you're going to go prove that what I just said is true. Well, that is an old, outdated model, and it's not what it's not backed up by science in terms of how our brains work. It's about exploring a phenomenon. It's about being curious about something and really exploring before you explain. I think it's about sequence mattering, right? Not just a lecture and
Yeah.
then a exploration, if that's what you want to call it, but the other way around, right? Maybe an exploration and then we can explain why something is the way that it is. So my hope is that we can really take away some of the fear that teachers have about teaching science and remind them, hey, you're already doing it. You're already
Yeah.
doing it. So
I think, educators, especially early educators, I think we wear so many different hats and are doing so many different things. And I can see how there would be intimidation there. And that's just, you guys are doing an incredible thing by being that partner, helping to educate them and helping them to build that confidence.
yes,
I love
thank you.
that.
And like I said, I mean, especially elementary teachers, they we don't necessarily need to isolate the content. Like you
Mhm.
can learn, you can explore literacy concepts through the process of documentation, or even
Yeah.
observation, and it's not so isolated. So they're already doing it. I think we just need to unpack it a little and have fun. Let the fun sneak in to learning, I guess.
That is important. Yes.
Yes.
Well, Tamara, you have shared so much with us today. I so appreciate it. Do you have any final thoughts to leave us with?
I have a couple quick plugs, if you don't
Okay.
mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
One, Nature Play is soon to open here at the museum. I say soon. It's like late summer, early fall. Nature Play is going to be an outdoor exhibit, and you don't even need to, once it's open, you won't even need to get entry to the museum to access it. It's
Oh, wow.
accessible from the park. I'm looking forward to creating some outdoor lessons and guiding, instructional material for teachers around that. But as soon as it opens, run and check it out. I'm already watching it it's construction and development, and it's going to be beautiful. So check that
Exciting.
out. Also, be sure, please, to sign up for our newsletter. We do 2 educator nights a year. Where the museum closes to everybody else and is just open to teachers and their guests for 100% free. And we have some nosh and food, and we roll out the bars, and we play shows again and again in the Infinity Theater, and we have programs going in the planetarium, and it really is all just for teachers. One of our nights is coming up in early September. So to learn about that and learn about other opportunities, sign up for our newsletter. And then the museum, the Denver Museum of Nature and Science, would love to give one of our wonder workshops. So remember, that's where we send an educator to you, to your classroom. And so we'd love to give one free wonder workshop to the ELV network. So I'm excited to share that with your community.
Thank you so much. We are so excited about that. We really appreciate that generous donation. For those of you who are watching, we will be reaching out to those in the qualifying areas where you can be eligible for that workshop, and we'll send you all of the details there. But we just wanted to thank Tamara for that generous donation. The Denver Museum of Nature and Science. That was amazing. Really exciting. I put the link to the newsletter in the description of this video and in the comments as well. So definitely sign up for that because it sounds like you don't want to miss anything because there's so much happening. And yeah, again, thank you, Tamara. This has
My
been
pleasure.
amazing. Yeah, I've learned so much. I hope that everybody watching has learned something new. And I hope that if you haven't already visited the Denver Museum of Nature and Science or taken advantage of some of these incredible offerings, I hope that you do. And I hope that I can go plan a visit for myself here soon.
That's awesome. And if it's okay with you, Rachel, I'd love to put my email in the chat.
Yeah,
As I
go ahead.
said, my job is really to be in service. Actually, it looks like I might have a little trouble. I can tell you my name is Tamera Sakotas. It's just Tamera, Tamera dot Sakotas, Sakotas, at DMNS. So that's the Denver Museum of Nature and Science.org. So if y'all have any questions about any aspect of our education programs, please allow me to assist. It'd be my pleasure.
I'll add that to the comments here. Give me just a quick second.
Thank
I
you.
can
Sorry, I
post
was
it there for us.
struggling a
So
little
yes,
with my.
definitely contact Tamara if you have any follow-up questions. Oh, it's okay. All right. So we've got it there in the comments now. Thank you everyone so much for watching. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to add a comment. Tell us what your favorite outdoor activity is to win a scholarship for Alliance Corps. And we will be in touch for those of you that would be eligible for the Wonder Workshop. Thank you all. Have a good rest of your day and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you.